Good afternoon, Professor. Our project is planning and implementing a Wi-Fi zone for the town of Dobbs Ferry for IASP 560. My name is Marvin Moya and my teammate is Aaron. So, an introduction. We wanted to plan to implement a huge Wi-Fi zone for the town of Dobbs Ferry. We can set up a Wi-Fi hotspot on a small scale, like on a smaller scale in a cafe or a home, with just a cheap router, an internet connection, and a computer, and some Wi-Fi hotspot billing software. However, we are working on building a large Wi-Fi zone covering wide residential areas that will be the focus of this. Although the information will still be useful if you want to build a small network. When building a large Wi-Fi network, the main challenge is getting a good range and coverage of the Wi-Fi network. We're planning to use special outdoor equipment, like weatherproof high-power Wi-Fi hotspots and high-power long-range Wi-Fi antennas. The equipment consists of a unit similar to a domestic Wi-Fi router, which can handle multiple users, billing payments, and Wi-Fi hotspot management systems, and a powerful external Wi-Fi antenna. We would help downtown areas create a public Wi-Fi zone for a number of reasons that revolve around economic development, including the ability to promote local businesses on a splash or landing page. Say you're driving by Dobbs Ferry, you find a parking lot, you park your car, and as soon as you go onto your phone or into your browser, you get a prompt, saying, would you like to enter Dobbs Ferry free Wi-Fi? So, that's one of the ideas we have. The attractiveness of free Wi-Fi to tourists and the fact that having this kind of connection signals to outsiders that a town is forward thinking, and finally, the opportunity for those who might otherwise not be able to have the internet at home. But aside from allowing people to check in our Foursquare or send the essential email, there are many other benefits to having a free public Wi-Fi zone. As I've been revisiting towns whose zones were implemented as a part of Houston, Texas, and also talking to towns eager to put their own zone, I have discovered some real benefits to free public internet access. A free and public Wi-Fi zone would always be running and would not necessitate a pizza purchase, although it can still be a benefit to businesses within the zone if people become hungry while using the internet. Public Wi-Fi access can have a huge impact on tourism too. When traveling indeed, people want to stay in contact with their family and friends, share their holiday pictures on their social networks, and check travel information. As a consequence, tourists are more incentivized to travel to a location if they can use the internet for free. Providing a city with free Wi-Fi hotspots would be advantageous both to tourists who would enjoy the internet connection without roaming charges, and for the local economy, which would largely benefit from increased levels of tourism. When you sign into the page, you will also get, in return for getting free Wi-Fi, the town's stores can also market themselves through the Wi-Fi. So, for instance, if there's a local pizza shop, it would show up on the Wi-Fi page. We would have a page that says, come to this pizza shop. We're having a sale, or come to the Dobbs Ferry Mall, etc. In addition, the zone can be set up so that the landing page is seen by everyone who begins to use the free Wi-Fi zone. This page can have a calendar of town events, a listing of local eateries, and a page on things to do in the town. This happened in Ludlow, in a village of just 800 people. In busy weeks, their free Wi-Fi zone is used by more than 1,500 individuals. Most of the users are from out of the town, meaning that they have stopped in at one of Ludlow's restaurants and stores and decided to log on to the zone. In addition to helping to bridge the digital divide and becoming a communication tool during a disaster, a Wi-Fi zone can send a signal that a town is informed, forward-thinking, and ready to welcome positive change. Me and Aaron once went to New York City for a workplace-related conference. At the place, we happened to take in the Linksys Wi-Fi router. But upon further research, we came to find out a bit more about the details of what a Linksys tower actually is, and what purpose it serves. We questioned whether or not Westchester County received its own Linksys Wi-Fi tower for public. It did not, however. We then asked why we couldn't have our own Linksys tower here at Dobbs Ferry. I contacted a friend of mine who works in Dobbs Ferry Village Hall and spoke to him in great detail about the benefits of having our own public Wi-Fi. He suggested to me to take my thoughts and ideas to the Village Hall. Since I felt so powerfully about this issue, we resolved to read it and take it up as our final task for the semester. And these are some of the Wi-Fi towers that we see today in New York City. Some of the key features, you can make free phone calls to anywhere in the US using the Vonage app on the tablet or the tactile keypad and microphone. You can use the dedicated red 911 button in the event of an emergency, something we would implement. Charge your device in a power-only USB port. Enjoy more room on the sidewalk with Link sleek ADA compliant design by antenna. And view public service announcements and more relevant advertising on the 55-inch HD displays. And this is some of the history of Dobbs Ferry. So our project will select the towns, help the town to find a moderator and a fiscal sponsor, then help maintain smooth communication between the town and the contractors, including technicians, electricians, etc. Provide the equipment, including hardware, software, and payment for the initial 5-year license fee. Pay for the additional installation equipment and contractor's time. Provide a template for a landing page and advise on what to include on this page. The person will also help to create a launch event should the town desire one. The town will designate a point person for the project and find a moderator, which is us, and a fiscal sponsor and help mobilize members in the town for placement of the network. The point person will connect with members within the town to gain input into best placement for the overall zone. He will gain permission from landlords, select boards, and town business people for equipment, placement, and their buildings. They would address any concerns that the community might have about the project with help from the Vermont Digital Economy Project. They would also be responsible for finding a means to pay for the continuing license fee of cloud software after the 5 years is up. The moderator, which is Aaron, will look after the Wi-Fi zone once it is up and running, moderate the zone using the cloud software provided to ensure there is no abuse of the free internet, and be the first point of contact for community members with questions once the zone is live. The fiscal sponsors will be responsible for paying for continuing service from the dedicated ISP line should it be necessary. The contractor will assess each town to determine best placement for the APs, install equipment and set up cloud software, introduce the equipment and software to the town's moderator and fiscal sponsor, be available for technical assistance should the need arise in the future once the network is running. To create a Wi-Fi zone. The implementation of Wi-Fi zones in downtown areas was begun through the Houston program, which used a model pioneer in Houston, Texas to create Wi-Fi zones in the 7 Houston towns. This service was in such high demand that through the Houston Digital Economy Project, another 16 Wi-Fi zones were created along with 10 hotspots. Wireless zones created by our wireless internet service provider, Verizon, has set up several of these zones, including Harlem community in New York City. Wireless zones set up by a company that use existing internet service providers, Submit Technologies has established these zones in places such as Burlington International Airport and the rest along the interstate. New York City followed the do-it-yourself model, as did the Harlem Digital Economy Project. This is what is described below. System implementation, requirement analysis, system design, and site surveys. The system installation is planning of the installation, training for installers, and overseeing the installation of the wireless network. We can recommend and work with reputable installers if necessary to install the system. Operational support planning, development of operational wireless network support plans, which includes an assessment of the existing support organization and methods, creation of decision trees that support staff can use when diagnosing problems, identification of necessary tools and recommendations on how to best support the network. Then if it is not clear what a Wi-Fi zone is, we have this here highlighted. From a user's perspective, most smartphone users have limits on the amount of data they can download on their phone. And to use it, they need to be within range of a tower, which can be challenging in some rural areas, often given the choice between joining a free local Wi-Fi network or using UpData, which they pay for. Users will opt for the free Wi-Fi. Currently, data plans can be expensive. The difference between a Wi-Fi zone and a Wi-Fi hotspot is most home Wi-Fi systems come out of one router. This Wi-Fi can be referred to as a hotspot. As you walk around your house, the farther you get from your router, the lower the signal is. Some houses may have two routers, but when you select which network to connect to, you will see two different options for connection, and it will be one for each router. As soon as you move from the first floor to the second, if you have two routers, your computer will have to disconnect and reconnect to a new network. To create a wireless mesh, we install several pieces of hardware that talk to each other and serve to create the zone. And this is the equipment: Cisco Aeronet 1570. We have the Aruba MSR 2000 and the MSR 4000, the Ruckus C300 series. We would need a gateway. Most of the devices listed above function as both gateways and repeaters. A gateway takes internet from a dedicated connection to a standard internet connection. For town Wi-Fi zones, a basic business level subscription is recommended. This connection is what brings internet to the zone. The software is used for monitoring the zone and to ensure everything is working correctly. This software is called a cloud controller because it resides on remote servers, the cloud, and can be accessed via internet from anywhere. The controllers, the Meraki system uses a proprietary cloud controller known as a dashboard to monitor the zone. The cloud controller is password protected and can be accessed through any browser. The controller can monitor access points, track uses, and track the number of clients. These are some of the pictures we took. It can track speed, track OS manufacturer clients, see exactly what types of devices people on the network are using. If it is mostly phones, for instance, then maybe creating more responsive web design is in order for optimized usage. It can also configure access control and administrate splash page and user experience. As soon as you move from a simple wireless hotspot to a wireless zone, you need permission from your internet service provider. It is important for your ISP to know that public internet service won't compete with the number of regular subscribing customers, unless providing free subscription is the goal you've agreed on. Step three. Well,